Every sunrise, you perform a sacred ritual, grinding beans and brewing that dark aromatic potion. Yet, what if a single humble pantry staple, stirred right into that steaming mug, could transform your ordinary cup into a high-powered cleansing flood for the intricate vascular network feeding your mind? While the masses chase a fleeting jolt of alertness, the sharpest elders have quietly adopted a one-spoon technique to purge metabolic debris, supercharge microscopic circulation, and gently rouse neural pathways that have been dozing in a foggy slumber for decades. Most of us know that peculiar sensation. A dense mental haze descends as you step purposefully into a room, only to stand frozen, the original mission completely erased. Or perhaps the awkward pause during a chat when a familiar name sits stubbornly on the edge of your awareness but refuses to materialize. For a large portion of those past 60, society whispers that this erosion is simply an unavoidable companion of growing older. But cutting-edge neurological research is now voicing a radically different narrative. It suggests that mental slowdown frequently stems not from damaged thinking cells themselves, but from a failing infrastructure, the delicate miles of microscopic capillaries, charged with feeding precious oxygen and fuel to your gray matter. Once those delicate conduits stiffen, narrow, or become inflamed with the passage of seasons, your cognitive engine begins to sputter and starve silently. In the next few minutes, I will lay bare exactly what this potent hidden substance is. I'll walk you through the rigorous peer-reviewed evidence confirming its power, the exact dosage required to achieve a measurable clinical response, and, crucially, the trio of devastating blunders that countless well-meaning people commit, effectively neutralizing every ounce of potential gain. By the closing moments of this presentation, you will possess a fresh sunrise ritual that doesn't merely supply a temporary charge, but actively fortifies your neurological future for the long road ahead. Before we expose the identity of the ingredient, we must first explore the underlying mechanism. Why does your daily brew serve as the ultimate delivery vessel for this transformation? And why is your brain currently screaming out for this particular bioactive compound? Let's examine the silent plumbing emergency unfolding inside your skull. Your brain operates as the most metabolically demanding organ in your entire biological system. While accounting for a mere 2% of total body mass, it greedily devours 20% of your oxygen and blood sugar. To sustain this colossal demand, your cerebral landscape is threaded with a sprawling network of microscopic blood vessels known as capillaries. With the relentless march of time, these tiny tubes lose their supple flexibility. A phenomenon called vascular resistance begins to tighten its grip. Picture a flexible garden hose abandoned outdoors through blistering summers and freezing winters. The material turns rigid and brittle. It crimps at the slightest bend, and the throughput of liquid diminishes to a frustrated trickle. When a similar rigidity strikes your cerebral plumbing, your neurons falter, deprived of the essential fuel required to spark at peak velocity. This is precisely where your customary morning brew steps onto the stage. Most individuals mistakenly reduce coffee to a mere container for caffeine, but the truth is that it represents an intricate biological brew packed with over 1,000 distinct molecules, including robust polyphenols. Standing alone, your dark roast already performs as a guardian of neural integrity. Substantial data indicates that habitual drinkers face significantly reduced odds of encountering multiple cognitive ailments. Nevertheless, caffeine possesses a subtle negative trait. It acts as a mild constrictor within select regions of the brain's circulatory map. So, while it nudges you into wakefulness, it simultaneously tightens those microscopic pipelines slightly. Have you ever felt that strange paradox of being electrically wired, yet mentally drained, or experienced a dull pounding headache after one cup too many? Now, for the revelation. By incorporating the particular substance I'm about to describe, you orchestrate a perfect biological duet. This component performs as a forceful vasodilator. It acts in direct counterbalance to the squeezing effect of caffeine, commanding those tiny cerebral pipes to swing wide open. The stimulant acts as the propulsion motor, accelerating cardiac rhythm and metabolic rate, just enough to shuttle the cleaning crew from our mystery additive deep into the most remote folds of your neural tissue. Imagine initiating a high-velocity pressure wash through your entire vascular circuitry at the break of dawn. So, what exactly is this magic powder? It isn't the aromatic spice bark we often reach for, though that carries its own virtues. It isn't a slab of butter or a spoonful of tropical oil, despite the passing fads promising mental clarity. The single spoonful you must stir into your mug is organic, raw, completely unsweetened cacao powder. Pause for a moment. Dismiss any mental image of a sugary confection wrapped in foil, because a vast chasm separates a factory candy bar from pure, uncooked cacao. Raw cacao stands as arguably the most potent and densely packed source of flavanols found anywhere on the face of the earth. These aren't just simple free radical scavengers. They are molecular keys that physically unlock the doors to your circulatory highways. Upon entering your system, these cacao flavanols ignite a targeted reaction within the inner lining of your vessel walls called the endothelium. This critical reaction sparks the generation of a fleeting gas molecule known as nitric oxide. Consider nitric oxide the sacred chalice of vascular fitness. Its sole mission is to signal the smooth muscle fibers encircling your arteries to loosen their grip. Once they yield, the passageway expands dramatically. In a snap, that stiffened, kinked garden hose morphs into a pliable, wide-open conduit, surging with a flood of nutrient-dense, revitalizing blood. Can you visualize the long-term shift when a daily practice replaces a lifetime of restriction? A pivotal investigation published in a prominent cardiovascular pharmacology journal demonstrated that older adults who ingested a flavanol-rich cacao beverage exhibited a striking surge in cerebral blood circulation a mere 2 hours after ingestion. Think about the cumulative architectural change that unfolds when this ritual repeats day after day, season after season. This boosted circulatory rush aids in flushing out toxic metabolic byproducts like sticky amyloid clusters that tend to accumulate inside the neural matrix. It mirrors a daily internal rinse cycle for the headquarters of your consciousness. However, you cannot haphazardly toss any dusty container of baking cocoa into your favorite cup and anticipate miraculous healing. The vast majority of commercial cocoa powder lining the supermarket aisles has undergone a Dutching process or been treated with alkalizing agents. This chemical manipulation obliterates up to 90% of the very flavanols we are hunting. You must specifically seek out raw cacao or non-alkalized varieties to unlock the vascular opening miracle we are discussing here. Let's shift our focus to the precise arithmetic of the golden ratio and the rules governing bodily uptake. To mirror the therapeutic dosage used in the most credible brain optimization trials, target roughly 500 to 900 milligrams of cacao flavanols daily. Translating that into kitchen terminology, you need 1 level tablespoon of raw cacao sifted into your standard morning brew. But this is the moment where the majority of hopeful users stumble and fall. There are 3 specific actions you might be taking right now that effectively sabotage the entire power locked inside that spoonful. The first blunder is the dairy entanglement. If you splash cow's milk or heavy cream into your cacao-laced coffee, you are effectively flushing your investment down the drain. Evidence confirms that the sticky proteins found in dairy, notably casein, chemically latch onto the delicate flavanols within cacao. This coupling creates a bulky, complex compound that your gut wall simply fails to transport into the bloodstream. The vessel-scrubbing agents get lodged inside the digestive tract, never reaching their intended destination. Should you require a lighter hue, opt for nut, coconut, or grain-based liquid alternatives. These botanically derived lipids actually facilitate absorption without the problematic protein-binding trap. The second blunder concerns the glucose avalanche. Loading this mixture with refined table sugar triggers a sharp insulin surge, which in turn lights a fire of systemic inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation represents the sworn adversary of supple vessels. It renders the arterial lining tacky, offering a foothold for sticky plaque to accumulate with ease. If your palate demands a sweet note, stick to a natural substance that bypasses the glycemic roller coaster, like stevia or a tiny drizzle of raw honey. The third blunder involves excessive heat. Never douse your raw cacao with water at a furious boil. If the temperature of your coffee is scorching, it risks denaturing the fragile antioxidant architecture before it reaches your lips. Allow the cup to rest and cool for a short interval before whisking in your mental clarity spoonful. To elevate this mixture to its absolute summit of potency, I advise introducing a delicate dusting of true cinnamon and a nearly invisible sprinkle of sea salt. The bark helps stabilize blood sugar levels, effectively blocking that infamous mid-morning energy collapse, while the trace electrolytes in the salt support precise neuronal transmission. This protocol transcends the definition of a mere hot beverage. It functions as a sophisticated culinary nootropic that you can assemble in your own kitchen for less than the cost of a daily newspaper. I want you to fix your gaze on the distant horizon of your lifespan. We aren't merely seeking a transitory stimulant buzz that fades before lunchtime. We are building something deeper called cognitive reserve. By persistently scrubbing these vessels clean and maintaining a torrent of oxygenated blood flowing smoothly to your memory center, the hippocampus, you construct a robust defensive barrier against the natural erosions of time. I have witnessed members of our vibrant wellness community describe how, within a mere 14 days of adopting this regimen, they sensed a noticeable brightness returning. Their visual processing seemed crisper, and that oppressive late-day fatigue blanket simply evaporated. This embodies the philosophy that food operates as targeted medicine. It centers around executing tiny, deliberate tweaks to habits already embedded in your routine. You are already sipping the coffee. Why not command it to repair and shield the organ that defines your very identity? Here is my direct challenge to you. I want you to commit to trying this cacao coffee protocol for a full 7-day period. Pay meticulous attention to the sharpness of your concentration during the late morning and the trajectory of your vitality as the afternoon shadows stretch. Then navigate back to this very video and share your observed truth. Our collective wisdom amplifies dramatically when fueled by these authentic life experiments. Before you navigate away, I need to pose a deeply honest question. What is the single recurring memory slip that bothers you most right now? Is it the struggle to retrieve a familiar face's name, the constant resetting of digital passwords, or the baffling blank slate when crossing a doorway? Let's foster a space of radical candor in the thread below and share these moments. You will rapidly realize you stand within a vast, understanding community, and through this open dialogue, we chip away at the outdated shame surrounding mental vitality. If this knowledge sparked a shift in your thinking, tap that subscribe button and become part of my channel. Our mission is to translate emerging science into practical power, enabling you to age with fierce intention rather than passive decay. Forward this video to a companion who swears by their daily brew. You might simply be handing them the key to a clearer, brighter mind. Stay curious, keep moving, and I will connect with you again on the next deep dive.